Silence can be louder than words. When he doesn't call, you wonder, did he forget me? But here's the truth. Sometimes absence isn't forgetfulness. Sometimes silence is the sound of someone fighting with their own thoughts. And you are right in the middle of them. When the phone doesn't ring, the first thought that strikes the mind is doubt. You begin to question yourself. Did he forget me? Did I mean nothing at all? But here's the truth. Silence does not always equal indifference. Just because he isn't calling you does not mean he isn't thinking of you. In fact, sometimes silence is the loudest proof that you are still in his heart. People often confuse a lack of action with a lack of emotion, but the two are not the same. The mind may choose to stay still, but the heart it rarely listens. Think about this. There are countless reasons a man may not reach out, and very few of them have to do with not caring. Pride, fear, uncertainty, or the fear of rejection. These forces build invisible walls. They hold his hand back from dialing the number, even when his chest is burning to hear your voice. In his silence, there's a war taking place, a war between desire and hesitation. And while the world only sees the silence, they don't see the battle raging beneath it. His quiet doesn't prove you've been forgotten. If anything, it proves how deeply you remain lodged in his thoughts, because it takes effort to fight the urge to reach for you. Silence can be a mask. It can hide the truth that the heart cannot say out loud. Sometimes the very reason he doesn't call is because he knows the moment he hears your voice, the walls he has built will crumble. And so he chooses silence, not because he doesn't care, but because he cares too much and doesn't know how to handle the flood that would follow. Indifference is cold, effortless, empty. But silence paired with hesitation, that is full of weight, full of tension, full of emotion. His silence is not the absence of thought. It is the presence of conflict. You see, memories are stubborn. They do not fade simply because someone stays quiet. Every laugh, every glance, every touch, it all lives inside of him. And in the quiet moments of his day, when he thinks nobody's watching, those memories replay. They remind him of what he had, of what he lost, and of what he still craves. His silence isn't an erasure of you. It's proof that you are still alive in his mind, still written into the story he cannot escape. If you listen closely to the silence, it's not empty. It's echoing with your name. Think about the late hours of the night when the world grows still. That's when truth rises to the surface. In those moments, when his mind has no distractions and his heart has no shield, that's when you enter. He may not call you in those moments, but he feels you. He relives you, and the silence you see on the outside is nothing compared to the noise inside his soul. The heart doesn't forget simply because the mouth refuses to speak. If anything, silence makes the heart remember louder. So, don't mistake the quiet for a lack of care. Do not confuse the absence of a call with the absence of thought. Silence doesn't mean indifference. It can mean restraint, fear, pride, or unresolved love. It can mean he's caught between what he wants and what he dares to do. And though you may never hear the words fall from his lips, understand this. Every moment of silence is not empty. It's filled with you. His stillness, his hesitation, his lack of a call are not signs that you don't matter. They are proof that you matter far more than he knows how to admit. There is a battlefield that no one else can see. It doesn't take place in open fields, nor does it roar with cannons or fire. It happens in silence, inside the human heart. On one side of that battlefield stands desire, pulling him toward you, whispering, "Call her. Reach out. Don't let her slip away." On the other side stands pride, stern and unyielding, warning him, "Stay silent. Don't show weakness. Don't let her know you need her." And in that war, his phone remains untouched, his lips remain sealed, and you unintentionally become the reason for his private struggle. Desire is powerful. It is the image of your face that keeps him awake at night, the sound of your laughter that replays in his head, the memory of your presence that refuses to let him rest. Desire urges him to bridge the silence, to break the walls, to surrender to the longing that burns within him. It pushes him toward vulnerability, toward honesty, toward the risk of being seen for what he truly feels. Desire doesn't care about rules or appearances. It only knows what the heart wants, and what the heart wants is you. But then comes pride. Pride is not gentle, and it is not forgiving. It tells him that reaching out is weakness, that making the first move will strip him of control, that admitting he still cares will expose wounds he's tried to hide. Pride is the armor he wears to protect himself, but it's also the cage that keeps him from freedom. It's the voice that whispers, if she wanted me, she'd call. If she missed me, she'd come back. Pride convinces him that silence is strength, even when that silence is breaking him from within. And so, every day is a tug-of war between the two. He picks up the phone, then puts it down. He types a message, then deletes it before sending. He thinks of walking to your door, but pride pulls him back before his feet can move. You are present in his every thought, but his every action is restrained by the fear of appearing too vulnerable, too exposed. Pride tells him that silence keeps his dignity intact, while desire screams that his silence is costing him the one thing he truly longs for. What most people don't see is how exhausting this battle can be. Desire does not sleep. It creeps into his dreams, into his moments of stillness, into the quiet corners of his mind. And pride, equally relentless, refuses to let desire win. This is why he lies awake at night, staring at the ceiling, replaying the same memories, asking the same questions, fighting the same fight. Outwardly, it looks like indifference, but in reality, it's a daily war between what his heart demands and what his pride forbids. And the truth is this: pride may silence his voice, but it cannot erase his thoughts. Desire may not win the war today, but it keeps returning, stronger each time, and every battle he fights is proof of one thing: you are still in the center of his world. His silence isn't empty, it's filled with conflict. His hesitation isn't cold, it's burning with desire that pride refuses to release. Remember this: if he seems distant, it's not always because he doesn't care. Often, it's because he cares so much that he's terrified of what will happen if pride steps aside and desire finally takes control. There is a strange honesty in the nighttime. During the day, distractions are everywhere: work, conversations, responsibilities, noise. But when the sun sets and the world grows quiet, the masks come off. The noise fades, the distractions vanish, and the truth rises to the surface. And in that stillness of the night, you become the one who takes center stage in his mind. Every night is your stage, and whether he wants to admit it or not, you are the story that plays on repeat when the lights go out. Think about it. In the middle of the day, he may seem strong, busy, distracted, even distant. Pride and routine protect him. He buries himself in tasks, in laughter with friends, in conversations that mean little. But the night strips all of that away. The moment his head touches the pillow, the silence presses down, and there is nowhere left to hide. That's when your memory returns, not as a choice, but as a force. You step onto that stage in his mind, and without even trying, you become the star of his thoughts. It is in the midnight hours that the mind replays the details it tried to forget. The sound of your laughter, the curve of your smile, the way your presence made the air feel different. Those details come back in high definition. He sees you, hears you, feels you, and the quiet of the night amplifies it all. The stage is empty except for you, and the spotlight shines brightest in those hours when the world sleeps. He doesn't have to call you for you to know this truth. If he's lying awake, restless and lost in thought, you are the one filling the silence. The stage of the night is cruel because it doesn't allow denial. During the day, denial is easy. Busy hands, busy schedules, endless excuses. But at night, denial has nowhere to go. The heart speaks louder when the world is quiet, and his heart calls your name long before his lips ever would. He may not speak it, he may never send the message, but the show goes on every night in the theater of his mind, and you are the leading role. It's not a choice, it's a reality, and perhaps the most powerful part of this nightly stage is that it is honest. The night does not allow lies to survive. A man can tell himself all day long that he doesn't care, that he's moved on, that he's forgotten. But when the room grows dark, the truth walks in. If he doesn't think of you, then silence brings peace. But if he does, silence becomes torture. That's why the night is your stage, because it reveals what the day tried to bury. And every night, without fail, you step into his mind as the memory he cannot erase. So remember this. The absence of a call during the day does not mean absence of thought at night. In fact, it is often in those quiet midnight hours when the truth is loudest, when the curtain rises and you take the spotlight once again. Every night is your stage, and whether he admits it or not, he is your audience, watching, remembering, reliving, and though you may never see it, the performance is real, powerful, and relentless. His silence during the day is not proof of indifference. It is only the intermission before the night pulls you back to center stage. Memories have a way of clinging to us like shadows. They do not fade simply because we wish them away, nor do they vanish with time as quickly as we hope. Some memories grow heavier the more we try to bury them. And for him, the memories of you are not light. They are weighty, pressing, and constant. They don't just visit him occasionally. They sit with him, follow him, and whisper to him when he least expects it. The weight of memory is the proof that you are not gone from his mind, even when his silence suggests otherwise. Every detail has its own weight. The way you used to smile at him carries one kind of gravity. The way your voice softened his storms carries another. Even the smallest gestures, a glance, a touch, a word become monuments in his memory, reminders that refuse to crumble. These memories weigh on him because they are not abstract. They are vivid, textured, alive. He doesn't just remember you. He re-experiences you over and over again. And each time, the weight grows heavier because it reminds him of what he had and what he lost. It's easy to assume that forgetting comes naturally, that people move on the way seasons change. But memory doesn't obey the calendar. It comes back stronger in quiet moments, sharper in solitude, and heavier in the silence. He may carry himself through the day with confidence, but the memories still tug at him when he lets his guard down. That's the weight he carries, the kind that no one else can see. And the truth is, memories don't just fade. They echo, they replay, they haunt. And every replay adds another stone to the weight he bears. The weight of memory isn't only about love, it's about unfinished business. It's about words he never said, apologies he never gave, moments he wished he could rewrite. That's why the silence is so heavy. It isn't just about your absence, it's about his own regret. Every memory reminds him of what he didn't do, what he should have done, and what he cannot change. This is the cruelest part of memory. It doesn't just replay joy, it replays mistakes. And those mistakes carry the heaviest weight of all. And yet he cannot let go. because letting go would mean erasing you, and deep down, he does not want that. As heavy as the memories are, they are also precious. They are the fragments of something real, something rare, something he can't replicate. He carries the weight not because he has no choice, but because part of him chooses to. Because as painful as it is, the memories are also proof that it all existed, that you existed in his world, that he once had the chance to hold something extraordinary. The weight of memory, in this way, is both his burden and his treasure. So understand this. Silence does not mean the memories have disappeared. If anything, silence often makes them louder. The absence of your presence only sharpens the presence of your memory. And while he may not pick up the phone to tell you this, know that every day he carries you with him, not lightly, not casually, but with the full weight of everything you were together. Memories do not let go easily, and for him, you are not just a thought. You are the weight he still shoulders, the story he still replays, and the chapter he has not yet been able to close. Silence is deceptive. On the surface, it appears empty, hollow, meaningless. But if you've ever sat across from someone and felt their energy without them saying a single word, then you know the truth. Silence speaks. His silence is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of emotions too heavy to be spoken aloud. His unspoken words may never reach your ears, but they echo within him every single day, and those echoes carry weight. Every message he wanted to send but deleted before hitting send, that's a word left unspoken. Every late night moment when he almost picked up the phone but put it back down, that's a word swallowed. And each time he held back, it wasn't because there was nothing to say. It was because there was too much to say. He carries a flood of words inside him. Words like I miss you, I regret, I still feel. Words that could shake the walls if they escaped his lips. But instead of letting them out, he locks them away. And so, the silence becomes louder than any spoken confession. Unspoken words are loud because they live in his actions, or rather, his lack of them. The hesitation in his steps, the way he pauses before speaking your name, the way his smile falters when someone reminds him of you, those are all sentences unsaid. His silence is not neutral, it is charged. It carries longing, regret, and vulnerability. If you look closely, you can see the language of his silence written all over his behavior. He doesn't need to say, I think of you every night, because his sleepless eyes, his restless movements, and his haunted stillness say it for him. The loudest words are often the ones trapped inside. They live inside his mind like a storm, repeating themselves until they become impossible to ignore. He replays conversations with you, imagining what he could have said differently. He rehearses apologies he never delivered. He whispers confessions into the air when no one is listening. Those words may never reach you directly, but they are alive and relentless within him. The silence you hear is not emptiness. It is a prison holding back an ocean of truth. And this is why unspoken words weigh so heavily, because what is suppressed does not disappear. It grows louder inside. Every unspoken "I'm sorry" becomes a knot in his chest. Every unspoken "I love you" becomes a restless thought that keeps him awake. He may convince himself that silence is control, that saying nothing protects his pride, but silence is not protection. It is punishment. It punishes him first, forcing him to relive what he will not release. His silence is not peace. It is noise disguised as quiet. So understand this. Unspoken words have power. Just because you cannot hear them does not mean they are not being said inside him every single day. His silence is not empty. It is a language of its own. It says, I remember. It says, I regret. It says, I still feel. You may never hear those words spoken aloud, but know this: the silence between you carries them, heavier than any spoken phrase could. Sometimes the words left unspoken are the ones that scream the loudest. It is easy to believe that his silence controls the story, that because he does not call, you are left waiting, that because he does not speak, you are left in doubt. But here is the truth: the power has never been in his silence. It has always been in your choice. You decide whether his hesitation becomes your prison or your freedom. You decide whether his silence defines your worth or simply reveals his struggle. And when you realize this, you step back into the position of strength you were meant to have. Understand this clearly: thinking about you every night is not the same as showing up for you. His thoughts may circle around you endlessly, but thoughts alone cannot build a life, cannot heal wounds, cannot create stability. He may carry you in his silence, but silence cannot hold your hand. Silence cannot fight for you. Silence cannot love you the way you deserve, which means the real question is not whether he thinks of you, but whether you will allow those thoughts to control your steps. You cannot mistake being remembered for being chosen. The power lies in knowing your own worth. You are not defined by the phone that doesn't ring, by the message that doesn't arrive, by the silence that stretches too long. You are defined by the love you carry, the strength you embody, the dignity you refuse to abandon. When you understand that, his silence no longer weakens you. It teaches you. It shows you the difference between someone who dreams of you and someone who stands beside you. And that difference is everything. Choice is the most powerful force you hold. You can choose to wait in the shadows of his hesitation, replaying his silence until it becomes your cage. Or you can choose to rise above it, to step into your own light, and to recognize that someone who cannot find the courage to call is not someone who deserves to hold the fullness of your heart. That choice belongs to you, not to him, not to his pride, not to his nightly thoughts, to you. And here is the paradox: the moment you step into your power, the silence shifts, because silence only has power when you give it permission. Once you stop waiting for his call, once you stop measuring your worth by his actions, the silence becomes irrelevant. You no longer carry the weight of his hesitation. You carry only your own strength. You become the author of your story again, and whether he calls or not no longer defines your future. You define it. So remember this: yes, he may be thinking of you every night. Yes, his silence may be filled with conflict, with regret, with longing. But those are his battles, not yours. Your battle is choosing yourself, honoring your worth, and refusing to let silence steal your light. You hold the power you always did, and the day you claim it fully, you will see what he never could: that your value was never tied to his voice, but to your own. So if he's not calling, let it be, because silence is not your chain, it is his. His nights may be filled with thoughts of you, but your days must be filled with love for yourself. Do not live waiting for the sound of a ringtone. Live knowing you are already the melody he cannot forget. His silence is his story, but your strength, your choice, and your freedom, that is yours. Walk forward with dignity, because the one who truly deserves you will never hide behind silence.